Monica John is my name. Once again, you are welcome P5 class for this lesson. And we are still talking about digestion of food. Last time we looked at digestion of food in the small intestines. That's where we looked at digestion of food in the duodenum. We looked at digestion of food in the ileum and other parts of the alimentary canal. But with me here, I've brought for you the summary from what we have been discussing, starting with the mouth up to where digestion of food ends. And that's why I've given it I've termed it as summary of digestive processes and disorders of the digestive system. And we shall begin and say, well, we are going to have parts of the digestive system, digestive juice produced, enzyme, food substance acted upon, and the product, or what does it turn into after digestion has taken place. So we have the first part that we looked at last time as the mouth. The mouth, the juice produced in the mouth is saliva. So the saliva, we have saliva that contains salivary amylase as the enzyme. This enzyme, salivary amylase, breaks down carbohydrates to maltose, cooked starch to maltose. That's carbohydrates to maltose. Then we come to the stomach. We discuss and say the stomach produces gastric juice that contains two enzymes, that is renin and pepsin. Renin clots proteins in the milk, or clots milk proteins. Pepsin breaks down proteins to peptides. Duodenum contains two organs that produce juices that are supplied to the duodenum. One, the pancreas, two, the liver. Now, we go to pancreas. Pancreas produces pancreatic juice. Pancreatic juice contains three enzymes, that is pancreatic amylase, trypsin, and lipase. And amylase breaks down the uncooked starch to glucose. It changes it to glucose, simple sugar called glucose. Trypsin breaks down proteins and changes them to amino acids. That is, we are talking about the duodenum. Lipase breaks down fats to fatty acids and glycerol. I think you can remember that. Then the liver produces bile. Bile has no enzyme, but that bile contains bile salts that breaks down fats or emulsifies fats. Lastly, the ileum. The ileum produces intestinal juice, or we call it succus entericus. It has very many enzymes that complete the digestion of food, like epsin. Epsin changes peptides into amino acids. Lactase, glucose, it changes maltose to glucose. There is sucrose, there is galactase, and very many other enzymes. There are very many to mention, but a few. Okay? Now, those enzymes are found in intestinal juice. All of them, they complete the digestion of food. And briefly, those are the processes that take place in our digestive system. I've just summarized them. Now, let's look at the digestive disorders. Disorders are not diseases. But there are conditions. There are just conditions that fail digestion of food from taking place. They prevent digestion of food from taking place. And one is constipation. Constipation. What is constipation? Constipation is the failure to pass out feces. To pass out feces. Sometimes you may go to the latrine and you feel the feces are too hard to pass out. A person who has constipation fears to eat more food. He might eat something little, fearing that I may not, I'm going to suffer when I'm passing out the what? The feces. So it affects the digestive system. The failure to pass out feces easily is constipation. Okay? And what causes that is lack of refuges. If somebody doesn't take water, doesn't feed on refuges, the green vegetables. Some of you like, I know I talk about this, chips and chicken. They are good food, they look nice. When you fry, you find some people salivating. But let me tell you, whenever they give you that food, they always add some greens. What for? Why do they put cabbage? I see some people, when they given a plate of food, they separate, they remove greens and put on the other plate. Then they concentrate on the chicken and the chips. They forget that the other ones are also important. But if you don't feed on refuges, you are going to suffer from constipation. You find pieces are too hard to pass out. 2, indigestion. Failure of the food to be digested. Like some people eat hurriedly, so they don't chew the food well. So the food ends up piling in the stomach and failing to do what? To be digested. Therefore, you find that the food will be piling and the stomach will start, instead of being satisfied, it will just be paining you. Therefore, indigestion has taken place. Vomiting. You eat your food. I like talking about chips and chicken. You will forgive me. You have eaten chips and chicken like 3 times a day. Now the body is used up. Is used to that. But now as you eat too much, it becomes useless. So the body now expels them out through the mouth. Now, if you vomit, what will be digested? Nothing. So please, vomiting is a disorder. So when somebody vomits, it's a disorder. And another one is intestinal obstruction. Intestinal obstruction. Now you find sometimes that the intestines twist themselves. They twist. And when they twist, no digestion can take place. You might have a lot of pain, and this one is very dangerous. Intestinal obstruction is so dangerous. You can end up in the grave. What do I mean? You can die. Intestinal obstruction is very dangerous to one's life. So as we eat, as we do some other activities, we should mind about this. These are the disorders. Children, help me and we go together. What are the disorders of the digestive system? 1, constipation, indigestion, vomiting, intestinal obstruction. If there are others, but these are the common ones. You can discuss others, but these are the common digestive disorders. Now, that is vomiting. That one is person vomiting, and when you vomit, you use energy, you push it out. You even damage the throat. You feel even pain in the throat. You might end up not even eating supper because you have a paining throat. That is intestinal obstruction. The intestines twist, and this is now food. The food that you have eaten, it stays in a certain area because it can't pass through the whole cycle. So that is intestinal obstruction, and the ways of controlling those intestinal Digestive disorders, 1. Feed on feed on foods rich in refuges. Eat refuges, drink water, and you'll be safe. You'll not get constipation. And 2, proper chewing of food. Take your time when you are eating. Chew the food until it becomes small and easy to swallow. Okay? So you chew the food until it becomes easy to swallow. That's when you will control some of the disorders. These are the points to note. I can't leave these ones out. The end products of digestion of food. The end products of digestion of food as follows. 1, when digestion of food has taken place, it changes to these end products. These products. 1, carbohydrates end up in glucose. They turn to glucose that is taken up by the body to perform other functions. Proteins, they become amino acids. Proteins become amino acids. 3, fats. Digestion of fats end up in a new product called fatty acids and glycerol. Fatty acids and glycerol. You know the spellings? Fatty, F-A-T-T-Y. Glycerol, G-L-Y-C-E-R-O-L. And they are saying that vitamins and mineral salts are not digested because they are already soluble. When you take a mango, when you eat a mango, there is no enzyme that works on it. For it, it is already soluble. The content which is inside there is already soluble. The moment you take it, it is just taken up by the blood. The moment you eat mineral salts, foods rich in mineral salts, those mineral salts cannot be digested. They are just taken up by the body. Okay? Therefore, these are the end products, and this is the reason why vitamins and mineral salts are not digested in the body. Because somebody will ask, teacher, but you have talked about carbohydrates, you have talked about proteins, you talked about fats. Where are these other ones, vitamins, mineral salts, digested? I've told you that they are already soluble. Something that is soluble, it can easily be taken up. It can easily dissolve, okay, in the blood, and it can be taken to do other functions. My children, I still love you. Continue staying at home. Sanitize. Stop playing in an open place. You can get your ball, start dribbling around alone if you are tired of, or if you are tired with learning because you need to have a break. A dull mind makes somebody also dull. Therefore, just play, but don't play so much those games that involve calling other friends. Might be that friend of one of them might be having something that you don't know and also infect you. With that, I just want to thank you for learning with me in this lesson.